Good morning guys, David Nussbaum at Wheels Boutique here. Right behind me we have our head tech Chris starting on a special project. You guys have seen our 992 Turbo S Cabriolet. Now we're gonna have a video for a 992 Turbo S Coupe, and this belongs to a very good buddy of mine named Carlos. He's been featured on the channel before with his cars. We had a black 488 Spider twin turbo upgrade, and of course we're gonna do the same sort of twin turbo upgrade for this car. Carlos is an absolute maniac and I love him for that. So this is gonna be the very first time that we do the twin turbo upgrade for the 992 Turbo platform. We didn't have a chance to do it for our green car because we sold it just earlier this week, but thankfully Carlos is going to be able to allow us to do that, and that's basically what Chris down here is beginning to do. So he's going to start removing a lot of things because in addition to pulling out the turbos, we're going to be doing a full IPE exhaust, and we're also going to be getting a ton of TechArt pieces. So we ordered the TechArt carbon fiber kit, and if we pull out photos of this before, you'll start seeing it, how much goes into it. There's pieces here, a brand new front bumper, side blades, wing, roof wing. So there's a lot of cool fun stuff that we're gonna be doing with it. And it's gonna be getting a set of Anrky wheels, and we're doing the Anrky wheels in a little bit of a cool design with some chalk to incorporate the chalk color from this car so that it brings everything nice and clean together. So I cannot wait for this bad boy. The only thing that I think that we're not doing on it is probably respraying the calipers. We're keeping them black, but other than that, everything else is going to be doing, of course, suspension. We're going to lower the car. So it's going to be really fun to get some B-roll of Chris throughout the next couple of days, throughout the next couple of weeks of doing all the installation work. It does take some time to send out the turbos and have them upgraded, so that's why those turbos and the TechArt kit's gonna take some time, and hopefully we get some really good footage for you guys so you can kind of see the master at work. Ladies and gentlemen, what I have behind me here is the 2021 Porsche 911 Turbo S that we've been working on for quite some time. And the reason we've been working on it for quite some time is because we have basically modified every single thing on this car except for maybe the brake caliper color. But everything else we have done to it. We've got a body kit, we've got wheels, suspension, tune, power upgrades that I'm gonna get into a little bit more with you now. So that's basically why this has been one of my favorite builds. It's a Porsche, which is my favorite car company of all time. It's the 992 generation Turbo S, which is the latest generation in their history and since the 70s with the turbo cars. And just going over kind of everything that it came with was about 800 miles when it got into our shop here. And as you can see here, we've got the chalk color, which in some regions of the world is called crayon. And you've got a very, very nice dark red interior. It's not like a very bright interior that's red that you would see on maybe some BMWs, but it's a very nice red. And just looking at the entire scope of the build, there is a lot to go over. So first off, as you can probably see, the whole front side looks a lot different than what you would normally see on a 992 Turbo S. The reason that is I can point it out right here. It is a TechArt body kit. Now the TechArt body kit has so many components to it that I'll go over in great detail with you guys so you can see. But in addition to the body kit, we of course have some Anrky wheels, which I'll also get into. And then the power upgrades, some really cool goodies. So to my knowledge, this is the very first 992 Turbo S in North America and possibly the world that has upgraded turbos. So we pulled these turbos out of the car day one that it came here. We sent them to Pure Turbos in California so they can upgrade some of the components of the turbo to make it perform a lot better. And then we finally got it back after a couple months and put it into the car. So it did take a couple of months because a lot of the components that were needed for the turbo and a lot of the components needed for the machines to upgrade the turbos were on back order due to the pandemic. So, you know, unfortunately, it took a little bit longer than what we expected. However, I'm just so happy that it's finally done because I took some pulls this morning of this car and it made me sick to my stomach how fast it was. There was no traction control loss at all because of the all-wheel drive system. I started to do pulls from 70 miles per hour on the highway and it got into speeds that were ridiculous, and the whole general feeling accelerating from 70 felt like I was accelerating from 0. That's how much power is with the turbo upgrades. We haven't put it on the dyno yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was in the 900 range for this car. We've got so much other things done to it. We had to pull the ECU out and send it to California as well with the guys at M Engineering to upgrade the ECU and make sure that it runs correctly, because you can't just put the factory ECU on here with the upgraded turbos and everything else that we did. So I asked Mitch, who is one of the guys over there at M Engineering, my customer wants flames. And so he's gonna get some flames. I haven't seen the flames yet. I've only driven in the car. I heard the backfires and the pops and the crackles while driving, so I can only assume that they're this big, but we'll see once I do some pulls in front of the camera here. But continuing on after that, let's talk about the wheels first, because it's a little bit easier to talk about them before we get into the TechArt and all the components for that. All right, so Anrky S3 X3s. These are 3-piece wheels. They're forged wheels, custom made in California, in Vista to be specific, which is just outside of San Diego. As you can see as well, these are center lock wheels. These wheels are available in 5-lug bolt patterns and in center lock, as you see here. On the front, the tire size is a 265/35/20, and on the rear, you have a 325/30/21. Those sizes are actually the same size that the 991 generation GT3 RS and GT2 RS used. On this car, it has a staggered diameter fitment for the turbos. That's what Porsche decided to do with the 992s. So you got a 20 in the front and a 21 in the rear. And to be specific, more specific, 21 by 9.5 for the front and a, did I say 21 by 9.5? 20 by 9.5. And a 21 by 12.5 in the rear. On this car, you can actually do a 21 front and 22 rear. That's what confused me about the sizing. We haven't done it on this car because this car is all about speed. So we wanted to have the wheels a little bit smaller in diameter so that you don't add weight that's unnecessary that you would find on a larger diameter wheel. Getting down to the nitty gritty, you've got satin black for the center face, and you've got this beautiful chalk outer lip and inner barrel. So in order to get that color, this wheel had to come from Anrky in a different finish for the outer lip and the inner barrel. And once it got here at WheelsBoutique, we disassembled the center face, and then we had the outer lip and the inner barrel taken to a body shop. And what we did also was we removed the gas cap here because it's the smallest piece on the car that has the color of the car. And so what the guys at the body shop can do is use a tool that basically tells them what the composition of the paint is, and then they're able to apply it to the wheel. So you have a very perfect color matching for the outer lip and the inner barrel. This client of ours is a really big client of ours. He's been a great customer for many, many years and a great friend outside of the shop as well. So he said, hey Dave, pick something out for me, pick something wild, unique. And so I said, you know what, let's do some chalk lips, because I haven't seen that in quite some time. I can't remember the last time I saw it, if ever. So That's what we did with this. And then you've got a really big wide tire. It's got Michelin Pilot Sport 4S on it. These sizes will allow him down the road to use maybe some Sport Cup 2s or even Toyos if we do a different set with an even smaller rear wheel. But I really like the way it is. You've got deep concave in the front, you've got deep concave in the rear, and you're also clearing the massive Porsche carbon ceramic brakes, which is very important because you could try and make a really concave wheel, but if it's hitting the calipers, we've got problems. So we definitely didn't want to do that. But now that we've discussed the wheels, let's turn to the TechArt body kit and walk around the car a couple times. As you'll notice, the entire bottom looks completely different from what you would expect on a Porsche 992 Turbo S. You've got the TechArt right into the piece that goes right here with the black. And we did it in chalk as well, which had to be done by hand, believe it or not. You've got all of these holes for the various sensors that the car comes with. You got the little backup cameras in the back, but this is the front side camera, so you can make sure that you're clearing all the parking obstacles. And then again, you've got hand painted this strip right around the front lower grille. So this lower fascia is composed of many different pieces. So it's very nice to see that everything aligns perfectly. You've also got this portion here, which had to be colored in chalk. And then there's another strip right here that had to be painted in black. And then you've got, of course, more sensors located in here. You've got the LED strip for those lights and the beautiful factory headlights right here. This piece had to be painted as well. So we gave our body shop guy a lot of work to do, and it came out looking perfect. If it's not perfect, then as soon as you're out here in the Miami sun, you will see different colors. And he did a spot-on job, so I'm very happy with him. We also have the clear side markers, and then this piece right here is very tricky. So you actually have to cut out a little bit of the bumper here with a template that TechArt provides. That's a really nice piece. I really like the way that is. We did the gloss black across the board. And then moving down to the side, we have a little side skirt, which is again, multiple pieces from TechArt. They do a really incredible job of developing this kit in the wind tunnel. So they do a lot of testing for it, and it definitely shows. It makes the car look more aggressive, and it also doesn't hurt the performance, which is very important with a car with this sort of MSRP. So you've got the bottom piece, which had to be painted in chalk. You've got a top piece, and then also this piece that goes all the way back and jets up, which I really think is pretty cool. A little fin here, that is excellent. Then you have the side air intake, which is in carbon. This carbon, when you see it up close and you get some of the B-roll, the pattern is just unbelievable. It makes it a lot wider than the traditional scoop would be. So I do like that TechArt didn't just bypass that. They said, hey, we can make this look a lot better as well. A cool thing is that on the inside, there's a black plastic piece that's here. This used to be chalk, but then when we put on this side air intake, I noticed that it looked a little bit odd because you have this carbon and then you had the chalk on the inside. So we removed the piece again, then we put this in gloss black to kind of keep with the overall theme of the car. Moving to the back, we did not touch the wing because this has a wing that pops up and down, so we didn't want to mess with that too much. But going back on the rear diffuser area, same sort of theme that you have in the front, just a massive lower fascia, and it starts all the way out here with this really cool fin. I like this design element because it looks like it's a continuation of the side skirt. That's probably one of my favorite design elements of this entire TechArt body kit. Once again, we had to have somebody hand paint the chalk across the board here. We had to get brand new tips because this car had dual tips on either side. So there's 4 in total, but we've converted it over to the ovals, which is more in line with the cars that come with sport design package from factory. And that's exactly what the TechArt required. So I really like that we did that for him as well. You've got all of the sensors here, as I mentioned, backup camera. You've got these little canards that are back here. And then looking under the car, all of that is painted in chalk with these little pieces in black. I really like it. We did this in chalk as well. So chalk, a lot of chalk on this car, and it has the black with it, so it adds some contrast to that. I do like that we kept, how did this get here? This red here. So originally, I wanted to change that to black or to chalk, but once I saw the little bit of pop that it has and the matching with the interior, I said, you know what? I think that looks perfect. It adds the smallest amount of color to this build, so I'm really happy about that. The only other thing that I believe I would try to ask the customer if he wants to do is to change this silver portion right here. Some people say it looks classy, kind of reminds people of the older 911s, but I think maybe if this was in black, it would probably go along a lot better. But that's probably the only thing that's left here to do in my opinion. And then, you know what? I think I've covered all of the exterior portions. Hopefully you saw in the B-roll some of the turbos coming out and the CSF intercooler, which was a work of art. Very, very few times do I have my techs call me downstairs and say, Dave, you gotta check this out. This looks absolutely unbelievable. And I was very impressed as well. It was a perfect plug and play fitment. So shout out to those guys for creating such a beautiful intercooler. But without further ado, let's get inside. Let's hear the IPE-Exhaust, which I've yet to get to, and then take a couple of pulls, and then we'll get into the exhaust and see how everything goes. Thank you. I'm at a loss for words. I'm a big mess. I've got the mic in my hand, my phone in my other hand. I got no words for it. I got no words for it. It's been a while since I felt something that pushed me back in the seat more than that. The only thing I could compare it to is the 918 Spider that we had before. A Hefner twin turbo Audi R8 was another one, but that's about it. Like, this thing is just an animal. I'm still trying to gain my composure here, putting everything away. Again, I don't know if there's any flames, but it sounds like there's some big pops in the back. Yeah, I'm getting a thumbs up from Marvin in the background with the flames. It is a full IPE system. So it's headers that are stainless steel. Then you got stainless steel cat bypass pipes. So removing the cats down here in Florida, we don't have any problems with emissions. And then it's also the titanium muffler X-pipe portion at the end. So that's how you get that amount of pops and bangs, and also with the M Engineering tune, which we requested to have a lot of flames. So hopefully it had some. Again, I'm gonna have somebody else jump in the car and see what it looks like, but I appreciate you guys watching. Let us know in the comment section what you think about the car, what else you want to see us do, and hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much.